Good morning. We begin our time together in song with Morning Has Come by Jason Shelton. Jason was inspired by the awe and wonder of experiencing a sunrise from the top of Little Scaly Mountain at the Mountain Retreat and Learning Center in Highlands, North Carolina, to write this song. So let us raise our voices energetically. Make sure your microphone is muted, and let's welcome in this new day we've received.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey Day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Gwinnett. My name is Jan Taddeo. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. It is my great joy and a tremendous privilege to serve our faith as the minister of this congregation. I want to extend a very warm welcome to our friends from the Emerson UU Fellowship in Marietta, Georgia, for joining us this morning, and also offer our gratitude to them for hosting us last Sunday, and so that our staff could have a Sunday off, and now we're returning the favor so their staff can have a Sunday off as well. Also very grateful to the members and friends of the UU Congregation of Gwinnett for 2 Sundays in a row getting up much earlier than we're used to for worship. So glad you all are here. So good we can be together in whatever way is possible during this time. If you have a chalice or a candle at home, have it ready to light in a few minutes when we do our chalice lighting. And if you need to go get it, you can just kind of listen from afar of the words of welcome. We arrive from many places and many life experiences as we gather to recall our true selves, reflect on the meaning of our lives, and explore questions of ultimacy together. If you are here for the first time or the 1000th time, you are welcome here. If you believe in many gods, a god or goddess, no gods, or you're just not sure, you are welcome here. If you are gay, straight, bisexual, asexual, pansexual, transgender, cisgender, still trying to figure it out, you are welcome here. If you are covered in tattoos or you are a blank canvas, you are welcome here. If you shout amen after each song or sentence, or if you prefer to sit with us quietly, you are welcome here. If you come here sober, addicted, or somewhere in between, somewhere on your healing journey, you are welcome here. If you are grieving or if you are celebrating, you are welcome here. Your whole self, all that you were, all that you are, all that you long to be is welcome here, and you are just where you should be, in a room full of compassionate and thoughtful Unitarian Universalists ready to meet you where you are. You are home. If you are a newcomer this morning, we welcome you and hope you will find your spiritual home here with us. We are becoming a radically welcoming sanctuary in a green space. We foster spiritual growth as we joyfully nurture connections and community within our walls and beyond. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to join us several times virtually, which we'll be doing for a while, at least for 4 or 5 more months, and then come in person to gather with us when it's safe for us to gather in our building again. Come to experience the full flavor of this congregation and this faith tradition. Come and be curious, courageous, and compassionate with us. And I invite everybody to take a big, deep breath and bring your whole self into this space. And breathe again. Bring every molecule of your being into this precious time that we have set aside this week to be together. As sound moves through us and around us, may we be reminded how deeply, profoundly, inextricably interconnected we are with one another, with all beings on this planet, with all life, with all the stars in the cosmos. This month we begin a new theme. We subscribe to Soul Matters for resources for worship and theme-based ministry. And this month's theme is Renewal. In that spirit, I offer these opening words from Reverend William R. Murray. These are the days that have been given to us. Let us rejoice and be glad in them. These are the days of our lives. Let us live them well in love and service. These are the days of mystery and wonder. Let us cherish and celebrate them in gratitude together. These are the days that have been given to us. Let us make of them stories worth telling to those who come after us. And now, do you have your chalice ready or a candle ready to light? If not, it's okay. You can just admire, be with ours. Let ours feed your spirit. I'll be offering words from Peter Weller as we light our chalice. Let the lighting of the chalice remind us that we can recognize the value of light only when we know as well the importance of darkness. As we celebrate the awakening, the visual delights, and the opportunity to find our way that the morning brings, we also give thanks for the rest, repose, and renewal that are the potential gifts of the night. So this morning, our wonder box is not our wonder box, it's our renewal box. Have a little activity for you to consider engaging with over the course of the month of September, this time of renewal. Reminders are essential to renewal. Normal life crowds out opportunities for rest, rejuvenation, and what matters most. Given this, we have to be intentional about reminding ourselves to make room for renewal. And nothing helps us remember better than physical reminders. So this month, I invite you to engage your creativity and create a renewal box covered with and containing physical items and visual images that will help you renew your core commitments and keep you connected to the things that nourish you most. There will be resources for this activity will be on our Facebook group and on our website, so you can look up more information about doing this. But the idea is to find a box, choose a box, buy a box, whatever, and decorate it in a way that represents things that are meaningful to you. This is actually a box I made years ago But I thought, gee, if I was making a renewal box, it would be great. So what would I put in my renewal box? Well, I think about the kinds of things that renew my spirit, that help me to reconnect with joy. So in this not a wonder box renewal box, I have some items to share. Maybe this will spark some ideas for you. So one thing that I certainly look to for renewal, and I know many of you do, are our pets. So I don't have a cat now, but I used to, and Squanto was a great source of renewal for me. And now we have Layla, who doesn't look like this, but Layla's a little corgi, and she's a great source of renewal and joy and playfulness for us. I have in here a box I created years ago that just reminds me to look in my renewal box. Also reminds me to be creative and fun and playful, because it's kind of a fun and playful little box. And then I like to be creative. I love to collage and scrapbook and sew and knit and crochet and all kinds of things. And I did some painting your own pottery last week. That was fun. So I brought some Play-Doh that someone gave me as a reminder to be creative, and also my pens that I use in collaging and scrapbooking. So those are some things to remind me that when I'm feeling depleted, doing something creative will help me. Sometimes it's enough to just light a candle. Every day I renew myself in the morning with meditation. So I put that there to remind me the importance of meditation and training my mind. Maybe some of you like to play games. I love to play games, so I have a reminder about that here. This is Harry Potter's Uno game, which also reminds me how much I love to look for magic in the world. I think the world is a really magical place. Somebody gave me a box for called a scent box, where you put a scent that helps to make you feel renewed or refreshed inside, and then you can go to it. But ever since I put the lavender drops in it, the box won't open. But the good news is it still smells like lavender, and that renews my spirit too. The earth, I love the earth. The earth is so important to me. It's a great place for renewal. Sometimes I'll just lay on the grass and look up at the sky, or hug a tree, or just sit somewhere in a natural place to enjoy the breeze and all of that. This is a stone I got from the Mountain Retreat Center, UU Retreat Center, in 2018, and I painted a picture of a white oak leaf on it because there's so many ancient white oaks up there. They're just amazing, and they inspire so much awe and wonder for me that they could live this long. It's amazing. Some of you might be people who pray. I certainly am one who prays, and sometimes I turn to prayers that are in a book. These are life prayers, and sometimes I just pray from my heart. I also love music. So I have in here one of my favorite brand new CDs that I just bought. I know, I still buy CDs, crazy, yep, but it's just a lovely CD. And I also love to sing, so I put in here a hymnal to remind me to sing, to renew my spirit. So these are a few ways that ideas of what you might consider, just what kinds of things for you. You may have completely different things in your box or on your list. So consider making a renewal box for this month, and then let it feed your spirit throughout this pandemic. And now let us sing together to honor this gathering of items that renew our spirit. We'll sing Jim Scott's song, Gather the Spirit.
Spirit, harvest the power, hearts and
have a reading to offer before the homily. It's called So Much Happiness by Naomi Shihab Nye. It is difficult to know what to do with so much happiness. With sadness, there is something to rub against, a wound to tend with lotion and cloth. When the world falls in around you, you have pieces to pick up, something to hold in your hands like ticket stubs or change. But happiness floats. It doesn't need you to hold it down. It doesn't need anything. Happiness lands on the roof of the next house, singing, and disappears when it wants to. You are happy either way. Even the fact that you once lived in a peaceful treehouse and now live over a quarry of noise and dust cannot make you unhappy. Everything has a life of its own. It too could wake up filled with possibilities of coffee cake and ripe peaches, and love even the floor which needs to be swept, the soiled linens, the scratched records. Since there is no place large enough to contain so much happiness, you shrug, raise your hands, and it flows out of you into everything you touch. You are not responsible. You take no credit, as the night sky takes no credit for the moon, but continues to hold it and share it, and in that way be known. Today I want to talk about our first source. So what does that mean for those of you who are new to Unitarian Universalism? We have 7 principles that are our core values. They offer our core values. Sometimes those become a little creedal. So I'm kind of excited that we have a new commission in place, put in place in June at the national level, to review our 7 principles and look at what's missing and what needs to be reframed. There's been a lot of proposals made to add an 8th principle regarding our commitment to anti-racism. Many congregations have actually adopted that for themselves already. And there are ideas for how we might look at our principles in new ways, and do they really declare our full values at this time? So they're like they should be. They're up for review. They're non-creedal. They are not what we believe. I like to look at our sources. I think that is where we have the most unique place to look at who we are. Our first source, it starts off, that section of our bylaws in the UUA starts off, the living tradition we share draws from many sources. And the first is direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and openness to the forces that create and sustain life. One more time. Direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and openness to the forces that create and sustain life. I love that this is our first source. Our first source does not name one book. It doesn't name any books. We look first to our direct experience, and this is core to Unitarian Universalist theology. I think it's unique, or at least very rare, among mainstream faith traditions. Our experiences of mystery and wonder, of awe, they inspire us. From those experiences, we write a story for ourselves. We make meaning. And in community, in congregational life, we have a cauldron of discernment, a place to share with others the kinds of experiences we're having and the meaning we're making with that. And out of this, we develop some idea of our own truth, truth with a lowercase t. It's not the truth, it's our truth. It's our truth about how to live to be our best selves, how to live into being of service in the world, how to live in becoming more whole as a human being. What I love about this source is that I can come to you and on this free pulpit, which is an essential part of our faith, the free pulpit, because you don't need to believe my interpretation of my experience. You are allowed to be curious. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to even push a little bit. But you don't need to convince me that your truth is better than mine, and you don't need to convict me because you don't agree with my truth. We can have our truths in the same space, in the same community. We can grow together in this way. Now, I look at how awe-inspiring experiences really do work within me. I love that Jason Shelton wrote that song inspired by the sunrise at the mountain. I've been to the mountain many times. I don't think I've ever seen a sunrise. Many sunsets, maybe a sunrise that's kind of been in progress for a while. My philosophy on sunrises is you start, I'll get there when I can. Maybe I'll catch the great eastern sun around 10 o'clock. Not a morning person. One of the most awe-inspiring experiences that stays with me, that I turn to when I need to be reminded of how much beauty and joy and wonder there is in the world, is years and years ago when Russ, my husband Russ, and I had the honor of going to Mount Haleakala in Hawaii on Maui. And we had to get up at like 3 in the morning, which is not my thing, but we did that. And we drove up to the top of this mountain, got there around, I guess around 4:30 or 5, along with all kinds of other tourists, all wrapped in our hotel blankets. And we waited. And there was some chatter and, you know, people waiting in the dark for the sun to emerge. And then there was a hush. And there it was, the sun rising above this sea of clouds. The most astonishing sight. It was just beautiful. But not only the sight was beautiful, but the hush was beautiful. And the shared experience with all these strangers, experiencing this most beautiful moment. And no sunrise, no two sunrises are the same. We had this sunrise. We got to experience this one together. And we all sat there for a good while till the sun was finished waking up. And then we took the drive back down. That experience sits with me. I have a photo of me up there with the sunrise behind me that I keep on my desk because it reminds me all the time that there is such beauty and awe and wonder in this world. And even though I know scientifically exactly how all that stuff happens, I can't help but be touched by the magic of it. Nye's poem talks about happiness, about joy. And I think what Nye is inviting us to do is to notice joy, notice happiness. If it's just floating around, available to us, let's notice it. Let's see where the joy is, and then see where we can hold it in our bodies to nourish and renew our spirit. It's easy, really, I guess, in this world, in our culture anyway, to focus on sadness and anger and frustration and loneliness and despair. It's easy to be present to those things. As Nye says, they require our attention. They require a little salve to heal the wounds. But cultivating joy is a path to renewal. And here's where I have to do a plug for the book, Book of Joy, which is a wonderful conversation between the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So I encourage you to get the Book of Joy, to look at how to really cultivate joy. And here are two men who have experienced tremendous trauma and tragedy and heartache and so much pain, and yet their joy emanates from their being. It is the core of who they are is joy. And I want a piece of that. That's what I long to cultivate in myself. So think about what renews your spirit. Where do you need to turn to when this pandemic just starts becoming so heavy on us? When it becomes like a yoke pulling us down? Look for the joy. Look for the ways to renew your spirit, whether it's recalling places you've been or going to places that are safe to go, activities that you enjoy, being in nature, playing games, reading, your spiritual practices, memories. Sometimes just picking up a scrapbook or a photo album and looking through the memories of our lives and the people we love can just spark such joy. Social action can be a practice that connects you with joy and service. Or call a friend, come to worship, be in a small group ministry program. Think about what helps you to remember gratitude and happiness and joy. And speaking of gratitude, I want to just take an aside here to offer my gratitude to this congregation that I serve that is so committed to helping me sustain myself, to renew myself. And I had the gift of 2 weeks of vacation and study leave that was just so precious. And I really took advantage of it, and I feel really good coming back here. Thank you for that, everyone. So I invite you to cultivate a renewal of spirit so that we don't become bitter, discontent, overwhelmed, lost, so that we can serve life, so that we can offer compassion and increase our connections, because joy is easier to connect with, I think. Cultivate joy as we expand our island of sanity in Gwinnett County and beyond, the counties beyond us. Welcome all who need our community of care and compassion. Let them come into a joyful community that also knows how to hold people through their deepest heartaches and grief. That's why we want to cultivate a spirit of renewal, so we can return again and again to one another and to the beautiful mystery of life that serves us. I invite you to just take a moment now to bring to mind an experience of awe and wonder that continues to renew your spirit, or perhaps to consider what you might put into your renewal box or how you might decorate it. Just take a moment of silence to consider these things. In a moment, you will receive an invitation to join a breakout group. Please accept. Your group will have 15 minutes to share some of these stories of awe and wonder or ideas for your renewal boxes. And now you should receive an invitation in just a moment. Welcome back. I hope that your sharing was thoughtful and inspiring, and that you made some new connections with people, perhaps discovered some new ways to consider awe and wonder as a source of renewal for yourself. In response to your sharing, I offer as a prayer these words from Amanda Eudice Kessler. A planet is born, a spark ignites, something completely new comes into being. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of life. A waterfall descends, a rainbow arcs through the sky, the ocean opens to an endless horizon. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of beauty. The stars pierce our hearts, peace envelops us. We are blessed. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of wonder. In the midst of pain, we find our way to hope and restoration. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of healing. In the midst of fear, we do what is right and speak our truth in faith. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of courage. In our aloneness, we see someone in greater need and offer ourselves to them. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of compassion. We gather in community, in relationship, in friendship, and cherish each other. We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of love. Throughout this week, may we hold one another in our hearts and prayers and attune our senses to the mystery and miracle of awe, wonder, and joy. Amen.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing?
Our congregation is committed to creating a more compassionate world. And to this end, each quarter we split our plate collection with an organization selected by our Give Away the Plate committee. Our third quarter recipient is El Refugio, located in Lumpkin, Georgia. El Refugio provides a ministry of hospitality and visitation, serving immigrants at Stewart Detention Center and their loved ones. Many people in our congregation, as well as the Emerson congregation, have taken part in this important ministry by visiting prisoners at Stewart Detention Center, assisting at the hospitality house, and donating much needed supplies for the house and for the immigrants who are deported or released. Our plate contributions also support the shared ministry of this congregation, so I ask that you please give generously to support the work of this really critical and important ministry in our wider community, as well as the vision and mission of our congregation. As we listen to a recording of our pianist Brian Bishop playing Horse by William Grant Still, you will see on the screen ways to contribute to our offering via PayPal, Venmo, or by mailing a check payable to UUCG to the address shown. You'll also see images of horses in your mind when you hear this song. If you're worshiping with us for the first time, your presence here today is a great gift to this congregation, and you may choose to let the plate pass. The offering will now be most gratefully received. May the generous gifts received today move us towards realizing our vision of a more connected and compassionate world. Thank you. I want to offer my gratitude to Russ Taddeo for running video and sound this morning, and to Christiana McQueen for managing our Zoom room, and also beyond grateful to the staff and members of the Emerson UU Fellowship for hosting our congregation last week, also to the UU Congregation of Atlanta for hosting our congregation the week before. And we're so glad that the folks from Emerson can be our guests here this morning. Now is the time for our call to connection. Please seek ways to connect between Sundays. Every way that you can connect with others is valuable. If you're new to our congregation, please text welcoming to the number on the screen. You'll receive a few texts and emails for a few weeks to guide you in getting more connected and learning about the things that we have to offer in our congregation. You can also email info@uucg.org to request our weekly e-news, and go to our website to look at other offerings there. We have on the front page of our website at the bottom a register for events button, and you can look there for the various things that are happening. And also check us out on Facebook if you haven't already. If you're new to the congregation and want to learn more about this congregation and about Unitarian Universalism, I encourage you to register for the September 20 UU 101 Visitor Orientation. And if you've been coming for some time, you've been to 101 already, and you want to learn more about the path to membership, we also offer that program on September 20th. So please sign up for those. And today the Emerson congregation has invited us to join them in their coffee hour, but we're also going to have our coffee hour here, so you all can choose where to go. And they are also offering a time for conversation about the worship service. But you may also be interested in their screening of the movie Suppressed, The Fight to Vote. It's really good. I watched most of it yesterday, and encourage you to look for that. We have links in our Facebook group and I think on our website, and you can join that at 11:15. If you are looking for ways to be of service, we have backpacks for the Corley students. You can drop those off in the bin at UUCG. We are going to be collecting these for a while, so just continue to bring them. We're hoping to break a new record. We've got about 54, 56, something like that, and we would like to up it to 80 or 90. So there's the challenge, laid it down for you. You can also get involved by helping with an Eagle Scout project on our property. Landon Meyer, who grew up in our congregation, is doing his Eagle Scout project here, and he's offering work days yesterday, thanks to all those who showed up, and on the 12th and the 19th. Please come prepared to work outside, laying gravel and landscape fabric and such, and there will be, bring your mask, and there will be appropriate distancing opportunities there as well. Want to remind you that next Sunday we'll have our water ceremony. We'll be doing that virtually, so please send me photos or movies. I've received one movie, photos or movies of water that is meaningful to you. Maybe it's a place of renewal for you in your life, or maybe it holds some special memory for you. We are starting up a new year for our religious exploration programs, and the elementary religious exploration program will meet on Sundays at 12:30 starting today. There's an introductory session on Zoom at 12:30 today. That link is on our website. And if you, and then on the 13th, we'll be doing RE at home. Resources will be provided for that. We're doing that in part because it overlaps with Spiral Scouts on the second Sunday, and many of our young people are involved in Spiral Scouts, and maybe some of you would like to get involved too. And then we'll continue with Zoom programs after that on the 20th and 27th, and then continue into our next theme, Deep Listening, in October. Next Sunday at our 10 o'clock adult program, Thomas Yun will be facilitating the Dreamwork group based on the work of Jeremy Taylor. And we have several ways to connect during the week. I offer an open space to drop in and chat with me. We have wonderful conversations on whatever comes up for the people who are there. So join me from 2 to 3 on Wednesday. On Thursday evening from 6 to 8, we have our virtual happy hour. You can bring whatever makes you happy. For me, it's good old orange seltzer, but bring whatever beverage makes you happy and a snack, and hang out with people and just for casual chat. It's really a lot of fun. Hope lots of you will come. And then we have our fall covenant groups. They have started. They're wonderful. We do have 4 spaces open in our Thursday morning group that meets from 10 to 12. If you are interested in trying out a covenant group, this would be a great opportunity. Please register between now and Wednesday, because after Thursday we'll close the group. They've had 1 session so far. It's easy to join in on the second session, but it gets harder after that. So if you've been on the fence, please sign up for the Thursday morning group. They could use a few more people, so please do that. And then just other ways to connect. Our Covenant Choir is still checking in every Tuesday, and now we are actively getting the equipment we need to start doing our own virtual music. So please, if you've been stepping back, step back in, because some things are going to start happening here in the next few weeks. We have a belief exploration group that meets on the second Sunday. Book club for this month is Brave New World. Check out our Covenant of UU Pagans, our Cups group, our Yarns from the Heart on first and third Wednesday mornings, and our Women's Spirituality group on the second Friday night, and lots more. Just check out our website to see what all is there. Rise in spirit as we say together the words we say as we extinguish our chalice, followed by our closing song, Blue Boat Home by Peter Mayer, to a new arrangement to an old tune by Roland Hugh Pritchard. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. has ended, and now our service to one another and the world begins. Please continue to take precautions during this pandemic. It's real, and it's not even close to being over yet, I'm so sorry to say. So wear your masks, keep your distance, wash your hands, keep your bubbles, connect with people in any way you can on Zoom or safely otherwise.